Philosophy of education gives direction and points of destination to the teachers, administrators, supervisors, in formulation to their educational aims and objectives to be achieved. Now, let's learn the basic philosophical systems. First is metaphysics. Metaphysics is the study that seeks to understand the nature of reality and existence, either visible or invisible. So, all is inclusive. That applies to everything, whether divine or human or anything else. An example of metaphysical situation is that when someone asked or confused if the Big Bang Theory is real, or if you have been asked by someone about God's existence. Next is epistemology. Epistemology is the study of knowledge. It looks at how we know what the truth is, and whether there are limits to this knowledge. An example of epistemology is a thesis paper on the source of knowledge. It follows the questions: what is the study all about? How is knowledge acquired? What do people know? How do we know what we know? And this will be answered by analysis and descriptive knowledge. Next is logic. It is a science that studies the principles of correct reasoning. The primary purpose of logic is to demonstrate how to make valid inferences of a conclusion or an argument with quality of being correct and reasonable. For example, all spiders have 8 legs. Black widows are a type of spider. Therefore, we can conclude that black widows have 8 legs. That's how logical reasoning works. And now, let's proceed to axiology. Axiology, often called the theory of value. It is the philosophical study of goodness or the worth of something. It deals with the nature and types of value, such as in ethics and religion. Studying the ethics of Christian and Judaism religion is an example of axiology. The concept of how people behave with morality is also considered as axiology. Axiology helps students to classify what is bad or good things to do and how good these are. Next is idealism. It is traditional philosophy of education in which spirit and intellect are the supreme value and not physical matter. In this system, teacher has central role, who has to be role model so that the students will adopt his model to become a good citizen. Students answer the asked questions. Teacher provides the feedback and students improve themselves according to the teacher's feedback. This will lead to the development of a moral character of the child. It aims at self-realization of all individuals by one's own efforts. Hence, it promotes universal education. Next system is realism. It is a philosophy started by the ancient Greek writer Aristotle. It states that there is a true reality, and things exist whether humans perceive them or not. Realism, on the other hand, tends toward a more pragmatic and actual view of a situation. For example, in art, realism influenced the artist's work as he preferred to create masterpieces that reflects reality. In this strategy, the audience can relate to the masterpieces since it is present in the society. On the other hand, realism recommends the designing of curriculum for realistic education, which enables learners to solve different problems of life. In other words, realism discourages rote learnings and bookish knowledge and prefers hands-on experience for the purpose of learning. Next is pragmatism. Pragmatism is an educational philosophy that says that education should be about life and growth. That is, teachers should be teaching students things that are practical for life, are criteria of knowledge, meaning and value that encourage them to grow into a better people. Pragmatic curriculum deals with the integration of subjects and activities. Therefore, a pragmatic classroom involves a lot of group work where students have to come to mutual agreements. Example, if a group mate says, "The ocean is beautiful," and everyone agrees. That is what pragmatism talks about. The inclusivity of students' group work, cooperation, and negotiation skills. Teachers should then encourage children to practice those skills throughout their daily tasks. Next is perennialism. This values knowledge that transcends time. This is a subject-centered philosophy. The goal of a perennialist educator is to teach students to think rationally and develop minds that can think critically. For example, reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Emphasize in the early grades to prepare students in later grades to study literature, history, philosophy, and etc. Next is existentialism. Existentialism in education is a teaching and learning philosophy that focuses on the student's freedom and agency to choose their future. Reality matters in how people has different views and everyone is accepted and correct on their point of view. The existentialist teacher is not the center of the instruction but rather the facilitator. The goal is to help students better understand who they are as individuals. This is also means that the students should have a choice in what they learn and that the curriculum needs to be somewhat flexible.